Hi, I'm Clark Kent, and I'm here to report the news to you. No, I'm not. No, that's not me. I'm not Superman. And you know who else isn't Superman? This. That's right. I'm a millionaire now. I have $1 million in my hands. I am so... Wait a minute. Am I good enough for heaven? I don't think this is a real... Oh, son of a bitch. You ever find one of these? Does it piss you off as much as it pisses me off? It probably does. They do make some pretty cool ones, I will say, though. I saw a Star Wars one with a stormtrooper on it. I'm sure there's some copyright infringement going on there, but they don't care, apparently, whoever they are. Anywho, these, if you've never seen one lying on the ground or on a shelf in a retail store, is what they refer to as a tract. And it gives the message of the Christian faith to people who may not be aware of it. But I think it serves another purpose, to piss me off. I see these and I get all excited because I'm like, yes, I just found $100. I just found $1 million bill. Not like anybody believes that they've just found $1 million bill. But I find these at my work all the time. See, I live in Lynchburg, Virginia. Anybody who doesn't know about Lynchburg, Virginia, this is the town for Liberty University and Jerry Falwell, the Thomas Road Baptist Church, basically. And so I didn't realize that when I moved here, or I would never have moved here. Ever, ever, ever. I've already had one drink tonight, if you haven't figured that out, by the way. Anywho, I found this when I worked tonight. I'd thrown it away, and then I grabbed it, and I said, you know what? This will be a fun little thing to show and talk about a little bit. They're looking better and better. I do have to say, whoever's producing these, the artists, the quality's getting pretty good. I'm almost tempted to spend this at Walmart because I'm betting half of the people would probably take it and then give me my change back for $1 million. I heard a story about that actually happened once. Obviously, they didn't have change for $1 million bill, but someone took it, and I don't remember the rest of the story. Look it up. It's on Google, I'm sure. And it might be wrong. I don't know. But I heard it. So if I heard it on the internet, it's probably true, right? I don't know. Anywho, I was on my way to work this morning. And I got to thinking about some things and some stuff. The first thing I want to point out is that my speech to text is usually pretty good. There's a few words that just will not learn no matter how hard I try. My daughter's name is Gwen. When I speak into my phone, I say Gwen. It comes up Glenn. Every single freaking time. I can be like, Gwen. Gwen. I've gotten to the point where I'm enraged at my phone. I'm screaming at my phone going, Gwen! Gwen! Still doesn't work. Doesn't matter. No matter how hard I try. Like, I'm sure there's a way to go in there and program it so that whenever I say Gwen or Glenn, it's going to come up as Gwen, but I don't have the time to figure that out. Today is Saturday. It was the biggest sale of the year this weekend at my work, and it was a long-ass, hard-ass day of moving stuff, sale stuff in and out of the building, and just a royal pain in the ass. I did not have a good day at work today. I love my work. I love most of the people I work with. Most, I do say most. I don't dislike anybody I work with. I just, you know how it is when you work with a company with about 15 people or more. You know, you don't know everybody. I mean, I know everybody because we all work together pretty much. But there comes a time when, like, some people really stress you out and make you want to jab daggers in your eye. Like this one. I'm not going to jab a dagger in my eye. I'm sure I'd get a few more subscribers if I did. You think so? Would I get more subscribers? Let's find out. No, we're not going to find out. Yo. I love you guys. Thank you for coming back every night. Like I say this a lot. I say it oftentimes in the sign-offs and stuff, but it truly means a lot to me. So I'm not going to ramble on about that. So here's Saturday. Here's our first Saturday. Is it Cylon Saturday? Or Cylon today? I don't think so. That doesn't work. I do want Saturday to be my geek day. Unfortunately, I ran into some things today that I do want to talk about. Saint Saviors and Saturday? No. Survival Saturday? No. Slow motion Saturday. That was dumb, and I'm sorry I ever did that. Supermania Saturday, Salad for Saturday, Solitude Saturday, Salmon Saturday, Satan Saturday, Santa Saturday. Let's talk about Santa. What do you think Santa's doing right now? June 7th today. He's probably kicking up, making some toys, I'm assuming. I don't know. What do you think? Also, dinosaurs aren't real. Or are they? I was on my way to work today, and I was listening to the radio, as I do. And the thing that popped out at me today was, it doesn't matter if you're liberal or conservative. It doesn't matter. Everybody puts a spin on what they have to say. And I'm tired of it. Like, I want my news. This is how the text-to-speech came up, by the way. I said this into my phone as I was driving because I wanted to remember it. I actually remembered it all day, so I guess I didn't have to do it. But the media in this country should be reporting the news and not opinions. Can you hear that? It's fucking fireworks, and it's loud, and my dogs keep barking. We live near the city stadium where the Hillcats play. It's a pretty cool place to go watch a game, you know, if you're into baseball. I am. It's a funny thing, too. Let me get back to this in a second. There's not a lot of dirty hippies that I know that like sports. Like, most dirty hippies I know are just dirty hippies, and they smell like patchouli, and they're wonderful people. They're my favorite people in the world. Dirty hippies, you are my favorite people. I love dirty hippies. It's just great to be a dirty hippie. I'm a pretty dirty hippie. I try to stay clean, but it just doesn't work out sometimes. I'm sorry this video is kind of chaotic, but I wrote this. The media in this country should be reporting the news and not opinions. Political opinions should be formed by the people and give them a basis for votes and not beef, said opinions of newscasters and news corporations. Needless to say, my speech to text did not work the way I wanted it to this morning. But at least I got it in an email and I remembered it. So I started thinking about that, and I started thinking about, I don't care about opinions. I don't want to hear a conservative opinion. I don't want to hear a liberal opinion. I want to just hear the news. I don't want to hear this. Obama has failed this country. Obama has destroyed this country. He has left his job. He doesn't care about his job. He's a Muslim and he's blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want to hear all that. I just want to hear he traded 5 prisoners in Guantanamo, not terrorists. I'm sure they are terrorists, but they're not labeled terrorists, for 1 American soldier. So I just want to hear that. And then I want to base my opinion on what I've heard, and I want to vote based on that opinion. I do not want your opinion. I don't care who you are. I don't want your opinion. I love NPR. I love MSNBC. I love The Daily Show. I love The Colbert Report. I really do. But the fact of the matter remains is I don't need the opinion. I watch Comedy Central because I get the news and it's funny. But I don't base my opinions basically, or I don't base my opinions on those shows. I just enjoy them. I like watching them, and I don't watch them nightly. I watch more and listen to more conservative radio than I do to liberal radio now these days because I want to hear both sides of the argument. I know my side of the argument. I've talked about this before. I don't need to listen to liberal radio to understand that. Like, all you're doing is reinforcing everything I already feel anyway. So, based on that, I just want to hear the news. And it's harder and harder. There's not a single station. NPR is the closest. I don't care if conservatives consider NPR liberal or not. It's not overly. It's easy to listen to, and it doesn't consume itself with opinions. They have both sides of the fence on the show, and it's fun to just sit there and basically listen to. Hey, what's going on, lady? Lady, I'm your knight in shining armor, and I love you. My wife came in. And I just don't want it anymore. Like, is there a place online, if you know of a good website that I can go on and just get the facts? I don't want a spin on it. I'm so tired of it. And I'm sure the rest of the country is too. Unless you're crazy. If you're crazy, then you want to listen to opinions. I don't want opinions. I want news. Like Tracy Jordan today. Tracy Morgan. I get confused with his character on 30 Rock and his real name. he was in an accident today, and I'm a huge fan of what he does. I think he's hilarious, and I think he's one of the best underrated modern comedians of our time. Like he just cracks me up. Like his false pretense of, I don't want to say stupidity because it's not stupidity, but he portrays this character as though he's not smart. But I'm sure the individual is smart. I don't know him well enough, but the news was pretty even about it. Like it wasn't Obama's fault that he was in an accident, so that's cool. But when it comes to big issues, I mean, like I said, all I listen to nowadays is basically conservative radio, and no one can just give me the news. Every show, every performance is an opinionated thing that they're trying to sway people in their personal opinions. I don't want your personal opinion. I don't want you to influence people anymore. I want the news. I want you to tell me that 5 prisoners from Guantanamo Bay that were not classified as terrorists were traded for 1 American soldier. And now, if facts come out that he has converted to Islam, that he has joined them in some way, that's fine. But I don't want you to tell me how I should feel about it. I don't want you to tell me how you feel about it. I want to know the facts. I want you to talk about how the transaction took place, how they landed, how they encountered these other individuals and swapped people, and he came back to the United States and the terrorists went on their way. And I don't want you to tell me how you feel. Like, I don't care if you tell me how you feel about it, but don't tell me how I should feel about it. Don't tell me how stupid the president was for doing it, because that's not your place to tell me that. I, as an American citizen, as a voter, as a taxpayer, deserve to know just the facts. And then I can base my opinion on it and vote based on that opinion. And if I don't agree with what happened, then I can base my vote on that. But don't you dare go on the radio and it's never going to happen. We're living in a time of complete and utter bullshit and lies, and I don't care what side of the fence you're on, you're getting your opinion from the media, or not necessarily your opinion, but you're getting an opinion from the media, and I don't think that's fair, and I don't think it's right, and I just want the facts, ma'am. It's not a lot to ask. So, if there's a website out there that you can recommend that I can pass along, please post it in the comments below so that I can do that. I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up these days about a lot of things. I try so hard to not get to the point where I'm fired up, but it's almost impossible. I am an emotionally driven person, and it's very easy to set me off, and I don't like that about myself. Like, I want to remain peaceful throughout my life. I don't want my emotions to guide me in anger, I should say. Like, if I love something, then certainly I have no problem with it, guiding the direction of who I am or where I go or how I vote or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is, I hate when my anger and my rage take over. And I'm not saying I'm a super angry person either, but it builds up in me. Let me tell you a story. When I was 10, 12 years old, I used to go visit my cousins down in, not Newport, Middletown, Rhode Island. And I'd stay there for a week or 2 weeks with my grandmother and would hang out. And they lived in a cool area near a high school that was closed in the summer, and we'd go down there and break into the high school. Or there was these old abandoned, I think I told you this before, this old factory with huge conveyor belts that went up to, like, I'm talking like 4, 5, 6 stories high, and you could go up and down them. I mean, that was crazy. If we'd have fallen, we'd break our neck and die. But I remember my cousin Larry used to pick on my other cousins, Ron and Melissa, a lot, because he was the son of the individual who my aunt was married to at the time. I'm not gonna show you all my dirty laundry here and tell you about all my family history, but he was an asshole to them sometimes. He's grown through the years, and he's become I don't know. I don't have much contact with him anymore. We're friends on Facebook, and that's about it. But I remember one night. See, these are the moments and the times in my life. I'll give you a few examples when things build up, because I let them build up. I don't let out steam. I don't know how to easily let out steam at all. I don't know how to release easily. Like, I avoid confrontation so much to the point that when it does come to a head, I blow up and I cry and I scream and I tear into whatever it is that's making me mad. And this particular night, we were hanging out down in Rhode Island, and my cousin Larry rode his bike, jumped off it, and let it fly into my cousin Ron. And me and my cousin Ron got along really well, 20, probably about 30 years ago at this point. We don't have much contact anymore. We're very different people at this time. He's super NRA supporter, and good for him. If that's what he's into, fine. I'm not going to knock him. He's my cousin, and we've never been super close, but we got along really well. And he rode his bike into my cousin Ron, and I lost my shit. As a 10-year-old, I probably nearly had a heart attack that night. I freaked out, and tears are flying out of my face, and I'm screaming at him, and I will not break contact with his eyes, and I'm just saying all the things I've been wanting to say to him for the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Some people just are assholes sometimes in their lives. I'm not saying you can't break out of the mold of being an asshole, but sometimes you get stuck in that mold, and you need to be shaken up a little bit. And he accepted what I had to say that night, and I was shocked because he was a fighter. He's a kid that got into school and got into fights, and even at teenage years, he was drinking a lot and stuff like that. And he was a violent drunk. I don't know if he still is or not. But this is my family, and this is the stuff that I don't talk a lot about because I don't really have a big family. Growing up, it was me, my mom, and my dad till I was 7. My dad died when I was 7. We moved to Taunton with my grandmother. So me and my mother lived together on the second floor of our house for however many years. My grandmother lived upstairs. My uncle lived downstairs. Well, my Uncle Larry, I don't care if people don't want me to say this, was beating my aunt severely for years and years. I didn't know about it personally. I was a little kid, but apparently my mother did. And one night she just had enough, and she called us, and we went and we picked her up, and we picked the kids up, and they came to live with us for the next 10 years or so. But like I'm saying, I was never close to a lot of them. My aunt Diane, I love her to death. She's a wonderful lady. I really like her a lot, and I wish she would seize opportunities of her life and not do what my mother did and live her life just for her children. There comes a time when you love your children, you love your grandchildren, but it's time to put away those things and live for yourself, or you're gonna die never doing that. Anywho, so I never felt close to anybody other than very few people in my life. My mother, my father, who I can't even remember very much, my uncle, who took care of me and took me out to eat and took me fishing and stuff like that, Uncle Stephen Crowninshield, and then my grandmother, Mary Louise Green, who is just an angel fallen to earth. I've actually got a song that I've written about her that I'll play if I can remember. I'll write it down. It's called Mary Sunshine. She and I were a lot alike. She was a singer and had an opportunity to actually go and record probably a record at the time, or an 8-track, and she turned it down to stay with my grandfather, who cheated on her, left her, went out to Missouri. He was and had a whole other family, which I know nothing about that. I know none of the names or people or anything like that. Then he came back to her, 20 years later, whatever, and she totally accepted him back. And I mean, I my immediate thought is she was a sucker for doing it, but she was a beautiful and wonderful lady, and I don't know why she did, but I can't question her judgment because my love for her was so strong that I can't begin to think that she would make a bad choice. Anywho, Jack Eugene Green. But, I mean, I was never close to him because of that, obviously. I was close to my grandmother, my uncle, my mother, and my Aunt Diane. But beyond that, I was never close to anybody really growing up. I mean, my friends became my family. And so sometimes when I talk about how I moved here and I felt abandoned, I mean, that's completely honest. Like, the people in my life now that mean the most to me are the people who I stay in constant contact with, or relatively constant contact. Corey and Nicole. Jess and Jen, we talk to them. Herbie and Jess. My friend Brad. But besides that, I mean, I feel like they're my family, but I feel like I've lost touch with them too. And I mean, part of it's by fault. We chose to move here, so they had to choose to, either separate themselves from us or stay in as much contact as they can, which is kind of minimal. But I just think sometimes, like, people complain about their lives growing up and how horrible they were. I know shit happens to people. I know people are raped. I know people die. I know people have been given horrible circumstances to deal with. But it's never an excuse to ruin the rest of your life. Pull your shit together. That's what I have to say. I'm not going to say pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I almost did, and I would have slapped myself if I did. But the fact of the matter is like, no matter what happens to you in life, you can't let it control you. You can't let it take control of the rest of your life. You can't let it consume you, or you're wasting your life. You're throwing it away. My dad died. My uncle died. My grandmother died. All these people that I was very close to. The only people that I was very close to. But you have to move on, like, to a certain degree. And the most painful things in my life have been the loss of people that I love. Not just through death, but even this move to Virginia, like, people who I thought were my brother, were my sister, like, turned out to just be other people. Like, when my daughter was born, I lost a lot of friends. They just stopped hanging out. Like I had said, this isn't going to be the hangout house anymore. We're not going to have the party that we've had for the last 3 years. We're not going to be smoking and drinking and just doing all this stuff. I got to change my life a little bit, but I still wanted support. I still wanted my friends. And so, I don't mean to turn this into a video of, oh, poor Will J, he got hurt and he lost his people. I just want you to understand me a little bit more and why I feel the way I do. I'm just an emotionally driven person, and I can't control my emotions very well. And there's a video that I recorded that I've never put up, and it explains the last probably 7 years of my life and how I've become who I've become, and how I can't control that, and it's beyond my power, and I'm trying to get beyond it. But I had my faith shattered, I had my heart shattered, and I've gone through hell and back, and I'm finally, after I'd say 7 or 8, 9, 10 years now, I'm finally starting to feel a little bit more like myself, or at least the new me. Like, and I think there comes that time where you gotta let go of things, or you'll spend your rest of your life like worrying about them. A little bug or beetle or something. Bugs are crazy outside. I just went outside and the fireworks were going off and the bugs were just bouncing off me. Pretty big bugs too, big moths. Anywho, I don't mean to bring you guys down, and I want to apologize to Greg Autry. I'm using a plastic cup tonight because all the glassware was in the dishwasher. So if you're still watching these, which I hope you are, because I feel like I've made connections with people that I may not have been as close with, 10 years ago when I lived in Taunton in Massachusetts. And I don't want to lose these new connections. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm overly emotional. Like, I attach myself to people because I feel like you gotta. Like, people are more important than things. Even more important than experiences, I think, too. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would never change my mind about moving away. I think experiences are very important, but people are too. And I think you learn about people more when you're further apart from them. Anywho, I've got a big month ahead of me. This is episode 77. We're heading towards 100. We've got about 23 episodes to go. And I want this to be something. I want the road to 40 to lead to something that's remarkable and stands the test of time and can really be around long after I'm dead, and like can give people hope, can make people smile, can just give them something to watch if they got nothing to do. But I don't know. Like I said, I've already had one drink tonight, but I mean these things. I truly do, to my soul, to my core. This is how I feel. This is who I am. And so, for my kids that hopefully are watching, 20 years from now, you changed me and made me a better person. And to my friends that are watching this in this current day and age, thank you for watching and being such a big part of my life. I mean, from as far back as I can remember, Larry Rivard, Scott Guns, I was younger as I was a kid, to Kyle Dole and Greg Autry and all the people here in Lynchburg that I've become friends with, and people that I've gotten closer to via social media and the internet. Like, you are the most important things that have ever happened to me. People in my life. Family and friends, the real family, and the real friends are family. I don't care. I've never had a big family, so thank you for being a part of my life and making my life better. Sean, thank you for subscribing and commenting and making me feel great. Like, thank you everybody that does that. You deserve the best in life, and I wish it and I hope it for the best of you, but you know what, you got to do something about it too. So get out there and make your goddamn dreams come true. Don't let the world get in your way. Don't let life get in the way. Don't let the ifs and if and whens and if and thens, don't let that shit stop you, man. Women, friends, Roman countrymen, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little crazy and emotional now, but just get out there and fucking do it. Like, let's all do it. Let's get there. Let's get to where we want to be, Well, this went somewhere I didn't expect it tonight. But that's okay, man. This is what this is about. This is my road. And I'm glad that you're along the ride with me. Actually, anybody who's under 40 is really on this road with me. Eventually, you're going to get to where I am. Whether you're 20, 30, 35, 38, 39... you're going to be 40. And 40 isn't anything more than a number. I know this, but it gives me an excuse to do this. So thanks for coming by tonight. We're borderline on the longest video I've ever done, so I'm going to cut this off now. If you're enjoying these, please pass them along to other people. I've got some new subscribers from, last night I got a new subscriber, and I can't remember the screen name, but I thanked you last night, and I want to thank you again for subscribing. If there's anybody who might be interested in watching these on a regular basis, please pass it along via email, Facebook, Instagram, like I said, Twitter. I love talking to the 34, 35 of you now that I know are listening. I know there's other people that are watching and listening because I get emails and I get stuff like that. But I would love you to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Just take a minute to do it. That way I can know who's watching. Not necessarily who, but how many are watching. I know that shouldn't be important, but it is a little bit to me. So don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow and make something better of yourself tomorrow. Learn something. Educate yourself. Just be a better person tomorrow than you were today. And let's make this world spin a little bit happier together. You know what I mean? You know what that means, right? Like, together, I think if we all harness this happiness and this good energy, I think we can make a better world. And until we all agree on this, until we all stand united as one against all the evil and the darkness in this world, we will continue to live this life that is being presented to us by our government, by corporations, so on and so forth. Let's be happy together, and let's stop feeding the beast. You guys have a great night. Thank you for coming by episode 76, this long-ass episode. And I will see you tomorrow night on episode 77. Nice episode. That's a nice round number of The Road to 40. Thank you so much, guys. And really, I appreciate your watching, your listening, your comments, your likes, everything. Thank you so much. And the sharing is phenomenal. I've had people sharing this for a while now, too, that I keep forgetting to thank. So all of you who are sharing it, you know who you are because you've shared it. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow night on The Road to 40. Have a great night and a great day tomorrow. Take care.